This is 373, week 7, part 5. Um, so he can't apologize, and he wouldn't, and he says he wouldn't apologize to the gods. He's not going to apologize to these people because Coriolanus believes that he wouldn't be intimidated by a god, and he's not going to be intimidated by the crowd. Volumina, his mom, says you are too absolute. Like you got to relax a little bit, dude. Um, Though therein you can never be too noble, but when your extremities speak, I have heard you say honor and policy. The word policy here means strategy. Like unsevered friends, in the wars do grow together. Grant that and tell me in peace what each of them by the other lose, that they combine not here. It's a confusing way to put that. But she makes a really, his mom understands him. Just like Lady Macbeth understands Macbeth, Coriolanus' mom understands Coriolanus. She makes a really good argument here. She says policy is strategy. So she says, listen, in war, you might use a strategy. You might sneak up on the enemy. You might trick the enemy. That's a perfectly normal thing to do in war, and you're a soldier and you know it. So treat this like war. Go apologize to them just as a strategy so that you can win the Senate seat, and then you'll be in charge, and it'll be and you want and then you'll have the power. Because right now he doesn't have the power. The people have the power, and they're calling for Coriolanus' execution. It's a great argument. Shakespeare really understands motivations. He's really good at psychology. Um, and Coriolanus is like this basically means like nonsense, nonsense. But Menenius says this is a good argument. And Volumina continues, if it be honor in your wars to seem the same as you are not, which for your best ends you always adopt as your policy, how is it less or worse that it shall hold companionship in peace with honor as in war, since that to both it stands in like request? This is the same thing over again, right? But she's just like, in war, it's okay to seem one way, even if you're not really like that, so do the same thing here. But Coriolanus is really upset because he says, why force you this? He's surprised his mom is asking him to chill out. And this is part of the psychology of the character. His mom is telling him, you need to chill out a little bit. What's crazy about that is his mom is the one that taught him as a kid never to chill out, always to fight, always to stand up, always to do battle, always to be brave, never back down, never surrender. So he's just like, seriously, mom, from you? Like, she made him like this. And that's what makes it crazy that she's asking him to change. And I don't want to spoil the end of the play, but you saw the movie. This kind of argument with him his mother will ultimately destroy him. Somewhat accidentally, but she does end up destroying him. He says, why force you this? And she says, because that now it lies on you to speak to the people, not by your own instruction, not by the matter with your heart prompts you, but with such words that you are but roded in. Roded means memorized. So she says, don't talk. She says, don't talk the way your heart says to talk. Just memorize some lies and say them. So she says, it's not time to speak from the heart. It's time to just lie. Just tell a fucking lie. Um, God, Coriolanus is amazing. I mean, you can't. If Volumina is your mother, you can't win. There's no way this works out for anybody. Volumina is so fucking crazy. I love her so much. I love her every bit as much as I love Lady Macbeth. God, she's so incredible. Um, your tongue, though but bastards and syllables of no allowance to your bosom's truth, right? Don't talk about your bosom's truth, just lie. Your tongue can tell lies. Now this no more dishonors you at all than to take a town with gentle words, which else would put you to your fortune and the hazard of so much blood. Like if you can, in war, if you can take a city by trickery, do it, because otherwise you're going to get a bunch of soldiers killed. It's obviously better to do it with trickery. I would dissemble, that means lie. I would dissemble with my nature where my fortunes and my friends at stake required. I should do so in honor. I am in this your wife, your son, these senators, and these nobles, meaning she's representing, that's what everybody wants. She's just their voice right now. And you will rather show our general louts how you can frown than spend a fawn upon them for the inheritance of their loves and safeguard of what that might want ruin. So he's like, you got to do this or we're all going to be destroyed. And Menenius loves this. He's so excited. Noble lady, come go with us. Speak fair. You were the salve, so not what is dangerous present, but the loss of what is past. There's a little, I really like this detail that like Volumina's husband's not alive, and it in the movie suggests, and there's some moments in Shakespeare that suggest that Menenius kind of loves her. It's not like they don't do a lot with it, but like it's a nice little detail that like Menenius, Volumina is his mom, and Menenius is like a father figure. And I just and it's key that he asks her out to dinner. I don't know. I just think I don't know. Look, I just think it's romance between old people is cute. I think it's cute. I think it's cute as fuck. All right, it makes me happy. Also, I like the actors so much in the movie. I just love both of them a lot. Brian Cox and Vanessa Redgrave are amazing. Um, I prithee now, my son, go with them with this bonnet in thy hand. Meaning, if you put your hat in your hand, it's a way of showing that you're sorry. It's like a symbol of, we don't really wear hats anymore. But if you take your hat off and put it, it means you're taking your hat off and bowing your head to say you're sorry. She's telling him to go be sorry. And thus, for having stretched it, here be with them, thy knee bussing the stones. She wants him to get down on his knees, take his hat off, bow his head, get down on his knees, and say he's sorry. For in such business, action is eloquence, and the eyes of the ignorant more learned than the ears. Waving thy head, which often thus correcting thy stout heart, now humble as the ripest mulberry that will not hold the handling. So the point, she makes an interesting argument here that I really like. She says the eyes of the action is eloquence, and the eyes of the ignorant are more learned than the ears. So he doesn't want to lie. So she says, okay, you know what? Here's what you do. You don't even have to open your mouth. But because people actually don't even listen to what you say, they just look at your actions. So if you just bow your head and hold your hat in your hands and get down on your knees and say you're sorry, right? But she says mostly it's in the actions. So it's not so much verbal lying as it is body language. It's just go to them and just look like you don't have to say you feel bad. Just look like you feel bad, and that will actually fix a lot of this. And I love this movie so much. Or say to them, thou art their soldier, and being bred in boils, meaning battles, has not the I say boils, broils. Or say to them, thou art their soldier, and being bred in broils, hath not the soft way, which thou dost confess were fit for thee to use as they to claim, in asking their good loves. But thou wilt frame thyself, forsooth, hereafter theirs, so far as there hast power in person. So he says, here's an excuse you can give him. That's true. She's trying to help him out by giving him something that's sort of true, because he doesn't want to lie. He wants to be himself. So she says, here's something true. Tell them that, like, you are their soldier, because technically all the soldiers work for the people in the city. Fine. But she says to him, tell them that you were raised not public. You weren't. He wasn't raised as a public speaker. He was raised as a soldier. And if they're offended by what he said, just say, I'm sorry. I was raised in wars, and I'm not a good public speaker. And that's actually true. He was raised in the wars, and he isn't a good public speaker. So just tell him that. Like, I'm not a fancy politician who knows how to do nice talk. I'm a soldier, and I talk like an asshole sometimes. So you got to forgive me. That's a better argument. She's trying to meet him halfway. She's trying to meet him halfway. And Menenius loves it. But this be done even as she speaks, why their hearts were yours. For they have pardons being asked, as free as words to little purpose. Meaning, if you ask for forgiveness, they'll give it to you. Prithee now, go and be ruled. Meaning, do what we say. Although I know thou hast rather follow thine enemy into a fiery gulf than flatter him in a bower. Meaning, Coriolanus would rather run into hot lava with a sword if he could do a fight, than go into a beautiful garden and have to say he's sorry. I love this play. It's funny. I started off today talking about how only half of Shakespeare's plays are worth reading. Most people would put this in the half that's not worth reading, but I think it really is. And the person that made me believe that is Ray Fiennes, who made that movie, because I was like, holy shit, this is a good fucking movie. And then Cominius shows up. I've been in the marketplace, sir, and this fits you to make a strong party or defend yourself. All's in anger. So the people are furious with how rude Coriolanus has been, and they really want to execute him, because Sicinius and Brutus got them all excited. Only fair speech, be nice. I think 'twill serve if he can frame his spirit. He must and he will. Prithee now, say you will and go about it. He just can't do it. I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up in the next video.